Right, well, here we go. Back in the plot. The beds that we dug over the other week, Roger's getting them all nicely turned over. The first one we'll fill with Japanese onions. They're in red electric and sensu yellow. They are already shooting away. Unfortunately, this bed was full of sprouts, as you remember. I told you in the last video. The only thing that's left now is the row of wallflowers. Fortunately, I sprayed them and saved them from the worst of the caterpillars. So we'll get them out and get a bit muck on the top, and it'll keep it nice and clean, ready for the winter. We'll put some spring cabbage outside, but unfortunately we've had to net it, keep the pigeons off. As I say, we're not the only ones up the allotments here. Some lads like their pigeons, but the pigeons also like work cabbage, so we'll have to keep them well covered over. Nice row of parsnips. We'll be diving into them soon once the cool weather sets in and puts a little bit of chill on them. At the moment I'm busy burning some of the rubbish from the bottom polytunnel. We've started work on that already. What we want to do is turn it into a single bed. We'll pop in there in a minute. I just want to show you the strawberries. We've put it all up into the baskets already. All we need now is some nice cold spells, really freezing cold to set them up into that dormancy, slow down the growth, and get them ready for us waking them up in the January. I noticed the other week there was a program on YouTube, lady, garden program, and she was wondering about the flowers on the late strawberries. Well, as you know, we've had a really strange autumn, some really lovely sunshine days, warm, not complaining about that, but unfortunately the plants, or my plants as well, tended to try and flower and fruit again. But this time of the year, best thing to do is just cut them off, strip the runners back. As you see, there's still some flowers that I've missed, which they'll come off. They have no chance of fruiting, and all it's doing is taking goodness from the plant, which we don't need. What we want is to want them to just ticking over now until the cold weather sets in and set them away into their dormancy. Nice and cold. As I say, most fruit plants need a good few nights of really cold temperatures to slow them right down. I'm really pleased with the way this has went this year. This is the first of our tunnels, the large one. If you remember, we finished cropping this, the sweet corns and courgettes, and from here. And then we planted it up. These are our spring cabbage, believe it or not. Looking really good. They're a little bit big. We have the nets on the tunnels at the moment, which is allowing plenty of fresh air in. So it's not too hot in here. That's Arctic lettuce at the side. It's done really well. This is the last of our summer cabbage. Webb's wonderful. It's been really great. I've had a few meals out of these. Nice salads, sandwiches. So on the whole, this tunnel's really done really well this year. The work going on the bottom tunnel, hopefully, we're going to make it exactly the same as this, although the bed will be a little bit bigger. This is only 6 foot by 2 foot deep. We're going to make it exactly the same, 2 foot deep, but it's going to be 7 foot wide by about 35 foot long. There's a lot of work needs to go into it. We've operated the 2-bed system in here for the last 10 years since we built this tunnel. As I says on one of my programs earlier on, it wasn't working for us. We find it very difficult for moving trays up and down, plants. So this is where we're at the moment. We've got the back frame up. This is 2 foot. We'll get the 2 sides on tomorrow, and hopefully on Sunday, if we get time, we'll get the front end on. What we're doing, we're moving the benches over a good 1.5 foot. So it'll allow 3 foot down this pathway, a good 3 foot wide, so we can get up and down with trays, compost and the barrow, especially the barrows up and down when we're moving soils around. The only hold up at the moment is the tomatoes, the last of the Gardener's Delight. We don't want to dig them up just yet. We want to try and get as many as we can out of them. before we start on this front bed. And of course the last of the money maker, they're still in there and they're cropping really well, so I'm not gonna be in too much of a hurry to pull up this bed. We've still got stanchions here which have all got to come out, and now supported by the new frames. It's going to take a bit of doing, but we'll get there over the next couple of weeks. Let's just say, just a couple of hours each day, me and Roger plod on, and hopefully by January we'll have the whole bed done, mucked. I'm after a good load of seaweed to go on the top, and then our early teakies will go in here in February. That'll be the first crop from this new bed next year. At the moment it's looking a bit like a builder's backyard, but unfortunately that's when you come to do a job, you've always got a lot of rubbish to get shot of. There's not much going on in the greenhouse at the moment. I'm going to sort a few lights out for the coming dark nights, so we can get inside and get a bit of work done inside. Roger's got the last of the Spanish tomatoes ripening off on the bench here. These big juicy ones. He's really enjoyed them this year. So yes, we've done well. I'm pleased. Beetroot's still cropping away. Well, muck bins are all overflowing. Compost bins, so as I say, the garden's slowing right down at the moment. The beds are all ready for next year. Well, autumn crops are in. So we're doing well. We're well ahead for preparing for next year. Our seed orders are all in. We've got them, so we can start planning well ahead. We've got a couple of fruit trees in the garden. The plum tree at the top there, that really needs a bit of work done with this year. It wasn't too grand. We've got a bit of a disease. It looked like sooty mould, so I'm going to have a look of curing that. I don't like using any kind of sprays, chemicals, so we'll have a look online and see if we can find anything to cure that. Our pear tree was fantastic. We've got some really nice pears off that this year. That was really good, so I'm pleased with that. Just wants a bit trimming up and cutting back, but I'm sure that'll be great for next year. And apart from all the rest, the raspberries, strawberries, black currants, red currants, gooseberries, you name it, we've had it. We've had a really fine year. So I'm going to bank the fire up, go down, and then lock up for tonight, and that's it until the weekend. Okay, keep in touch and we'll let you know how we'll get on with our trench in the next couple of weeks. Bye for now.